All set? Camera, sound, light. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. It's okay? 2 minutes. All right. Are all the mics here on the table to save us the back and forth? If your mic is not placed here, you can bring it for now so that we can have it. Or your recording device. How far? How far? Are we good to go? The man who requested 2 minutes. Yeah? 4 minutes? Well, I add one more, 5 minutes, and after I start the countdown. Round figure 5. Good. The DPS full name again, before I mess up. The DPS, his full name.
DPS who?
The DPS kid.
Funding. Okay, you can search it on when you're ready to. I have an internet issues and like that. Getting into information.
Okay, no problem. How far? I'll start the countdown. 4, 3. How far? Should I go down 3? 2 more minutes. How far are they? They come. 2, 1. Thank you very much. Good morning, welcome to everyone. Before we start, let us pray in our respective ways. Amen. Good morning. Once again, welcome. My name is Sankano, Deputy Government Spokesperson. Honorable Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Service, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. DPS Technical, Ministry of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services, Mr. Fandit Kinte. Director of Information Service, Madam Aisha Davis Ann. DPS Admin, Ministry of Lands, Regional Governments and Religious Affairs, Mr. Modou Tal. Deputy Director, Department of Physical Planning and Housing, Amadou Dafe. Principal Development Control Officer, Department of Physical Planning and Housing, Lamin D. Kora. Senior government officials, members of the media, family, friends, compatriots at home and abroad, welcome to this edition of the Gambia Government Press Release that we organize regularly to update the media on the achievements of the government and also have an interface with you. The rule is simple. This is just for the media. Only media practitioners are allowed to ask questions. For citizens, we have the Mansakunda and we have other avenues. So let us respect the rule of the game to make life easier so that we know that all of you are working against deadlines so that by midday you all go back to your editorial room and work on your report. So let's respect the rule. As usual, the Honorable Minister, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, will give us an update on government's activities and deliveries. Then we go into the thematic discussions of the day with our guys, our brothers and sisters from the Department of Physical Planning and Housing will update you and answer questions. Then that will open the floor for questions and answers. As usual, introduce yourself, your media organizations, and your questions. So we should be done in an hour's time. And again, if you are not a media practitioner, please reserve your questions for the Mansakunda, which is open for all citizens. Or you can always ask us questions subsequently because we are an open government. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to the minister or any senior government official to answer questions. Thank you very much. On that note, Honorable Minister, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone, members of the press here present today, our colleagues from the Department of Physical Planning with the DPS from the Ministry of Lands. Welcome you to this edition of the press conference, the Monday press conference. The DG of Information Services, Aisha Davis, and the DPS from the Ministry of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services. As usual, the Ministry of Information, in fulfillment of our mandate to provide authentic, accurate, relevant information to the public in a proactive manner, we organize monthly press conferences where we bring a sector, MDA, it could be a ministry, a department, or an agency, to come and interface with the media to answer relevant questions concerning a particular sector. It could be a burning issue like this one. It could be any other issue. The purpose is to ensure that we provide a platform where government can be held accountable, but also we can ensure to promote transparency and consolidation of our democracy. This is one of those press conferences. We have the Department of Physical Planning. It's a burning issue. Members of the press are here, and like the chair said, it's a press conference, and the rules in a press conference are that only media personnel are allowed to ask questions. And I hope we'll follow that rule. Mbadi ngol mbal tento lambal jela kon kake nyameng karuo kari nka press conference ke nka journalist ol commande ina ening Mansakunda kakacha pour banko dingol salo Mansakunda e mono kuto bari Mansakunda fanan salong banko dingol monela hajoti ani monela ila wasioti ñin dung press conference ol mon journalist ol drone ka ñinin karo ke bawo itolle kata ka kibaro ñin janjang ndola ministre dung kala fi mina walon kaje ko banko dingol ning Mansakunda filo kan tare tima fengo famiano ko Mansakunda bato somanda fotilo be banko dingol salon bari fana banko dingol fana mi mula wasioti anila hajo ni la sola fengol tim fana kasama Mansakunda kalon bari press conference wo mimben tima myalon ko wala kibarol sindi wolon kiba janjannaldi wolon journalist oldi woto bi mbalten to lambar jela journalist o mil bijambi physical planning dum wolle bijambi kana kanyinin karo ta journalist ol bulu ila do ko bundala banko dingol fanan salon mune la do ko ti mune betol fanan bulu ani be la do ko ka nyameng walat na karo karin ka Mansakunda bunda kilen jube nke fenam purini banko dingol sikata purun saji ko banko dingol ni Mansakunda kana filinyo so bari bi physical planning la bijang beton to lambe jayla ining DPS mi alon ko wala bata Ministry of Lands afanam bijambi na do ku nyol mi alon ko long Aisha Davis Department of Information Service afanam bijambi ani DPS mi alon ko wala bata Ministry of Information afanam bijambi journalism bijambi mbal tentula mbal jela mbal mbarala albedo ko nyima minna na mola fanam be so kono mbal tentula mbal jela mbokay di lan dalal fi suñ benen press conference mi nga amne weer bu neka ñu ngi ko far di def njëriñi press conference bi nak moy lan pour ñu gëna réro bu am digante nguur ak askan bi suba su ko defee nguur si lu mu di nekka bés bu ne askan bi yëg ko waaye tamit askan bi li nga xam ne mooy seen jaaxle li nga xam ne mooy seen bébét nguur gi tamit yëg ko réero bu mu am loolu mooy saxal suñ démocratie moo tax weer bu ne dañoo isi benn banxaasi government mu ñëw fii jàkkaarloo ak media bi nag lu tax ñu am solo moo ñoom ñooy tas xibaar gi press conference nag aduna si yëpp lii mooy loi bi mooy ne journaliste rek mooy laajte question mooy press conference kon te xam naa noonu lañ ko doxalee di gërëm nag ñi nga xam ne jógee physical planning parce que te ñoom lañ am ñoo jàkkaarloo askan bi si liggéey bu ñoo def naka lañ ko teralee seen liggéey bi askan bi mun koo xam su boobaa lépp loo xam ne réero la ñu mun ko see génnee kon di gërëm ñi nga xam ne ñooy physical planning seen teewaay di gërëm suñ naataangoo yi ñi nga xam ne ñooy journaliste yi si seen liggéey bu rafet di leen jaaj bu baax a baax di dalal ki nga xam ne mooy Aisha Davis mu jógee Department of Information Service ak suñ DPS bu jógee Ministry of Information kon te waxtaan bi dina am solo li nga xam ne nag moo jógee si nguur mooy li fës mooy ne président His Excellence Adama Barrow ëllëg dina dem fi nga xam ne mooy North Bank Region dina ko commencé Barra dem seet yoon yi nga xam ne yu lañ nekk di tabax si area boobu noonu ne ko starté Hakalang seet yoon bi fan la tollu si liggéey bi su paree dem Kër Ali mooy Farafeñe dem seet li nga xam ne mooy border post bu ñu faa sampa ñu commission ko su fa jógee mu jaala dem Lower River Region dem Kiang dem seet yooyu ñu faa liggéey particularly yi nga xam ne mooy Kiang West Road bi ak yenn liggéey yi nga xam ne foofu commencé nañ ko fa pour mu dem inspect progress bi mba falale ko president dung bi kibaro mi alongol bota Mansakunda me kibaro ko dolongo sam president His Excellency abe ta la tamangola aba commencé la North Bank wala ñomi lo wa ñomi opa ñomi kata fo jokada fo badibu sila do ko mi alon ko wolle biji badibu fannala je bi ka fo mi ko banni sali kany sula ba jubela be hakalang silo jubela boda post mi alon be farafanya ba fana yela la kutamalon pul mi alon ko sane alo namba jabe tambila e saung ayta Lower River Region ayta Kiang sila do ko mi beje mi alon ko lon sankandi silo ti kara ko Kiang West abe fana jubela anin do ko dol mi alon ko wolle fanam je abe fana jibela be inspect la sama woto sama president be tamala abita tamala kaje ko do ko mi alon ko wolle be kering Mansakunda li a commencé do ko nyina fanal be damen. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the only update we have from government which is of significance is that the president, His Excellency, tomorrow will take a tour of the country. He'll start at the North Bank region in SL to visit ongoing road works, starting with the Hakalang Road, to commission the border post in Farafenye, and also to go over to the Lower River region and inspect the Kiang West Road and other road construction works that are happening at the moment, just to update himself of the progress of those roads. So these are updates from the government, and we are looking forward to fruitful discussions as we normally do. We're all Gambians. We are here for the interest of every Gambian. We are not enemies. We are friends. We are family. Let us have nice discussions. We give the physical plan the chance to make their case and give the journalists the chance to ask questions, and then we can be finished here before 12 noon. Thank you very much, everyone, for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. You sum it up. We are not enemies, we are partners. This country belongs to all of us. We all have a role to play, and towards its development. All what we are doing, either Department of Physical Planning or HE going around it all, is all part of inclusive development. We've seen, let's look at the example of the OIC. When the construction was taking place, people were complaining, but now people are happy. And then people are also worried about accidents. Government has done its part, train the police, equip them, make sure that there's police presence. Citizens who are not used to zebra crossing are gradually adapting and learning. So this is how development brings behavioral change. So our comfort zone that we were used to since 1965 is no longer tenable. So we must be able to adapt to the reality. And as a responsible government, some of these painful decisions that have been taken here and there are meant for the future, so that we can all relax and live a country that is better than where we found it. So on that note, I would like to invite DPS admin, Mr. Mamadou Tal from the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs to update us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sasankano. Honorable Minister. Okay, Honorable Minister, Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Director, Deputy Directors, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols duly observed. Today I'm going to read the report from the Salaji, the findings from the department, our technical department, Department of Fiscal Planning. I think it's an important report that you are all interested in. I will start by giving you a background of the report of the Salaji layout. The Salaji layout is a residential layout created and allocated by the government, quote-unquote, Ministry of Lands, to qualified Gambians. The layout creation process started with the acquisition of the land in 2001 and culminated with allocation of plots for residential purposes in 2005. The layout creation process entails, it's very important, the acquisition of the land for the Ministry of Lands, surveying and preparation of a base map by the Department of Lands and Surveys, designing of the layout by the Department of Fiscal Planning and Housing, approval of the layout design by the Ministry of Lands, demarcation of the plots by Department of Lands and Surveys, allocation of plots by the Honorable Minister of Lands conveyed by the Department of Lands and Surveys to allottees. So the layout is in two phases, starting with the Salaji layout proper and the Salaji extension. The Salaji layout proper is purely residential layout consisting of only residential plots and with some public service, with some public spaces. Is the mic working? I should take it on. Oh, okay, no, okay. With the public spaces. Okay, that's better, that's much better. I'll go back. The layout is purely residential layout, consisting of only residential plots and with some public spaces created to ensure the necessary amenities and services are made available within the reach of the inhabitants of the layout and the surrounding settlements. The public spaces created were allocated to the community of the layout, such as primary schools, cemeteries, nursery schools, community centers, and mosques, and also playgrounds. And the others to the relevant institutions, such as the police station, fire station, NAWEC, Gamtel, market, car parks, etc. For their development and upkeep for the specific purposes they are created for, due to the inability to these custodians to develop most of the public spaces on time, they still remain empty and underdeveloped, thereby making them prone to encroachment and intrusion. So we come to the encroachments and illegal developments within the layouts, I think, which is a very important issue. Encroachments within the Salaji layouts have been a great challenge for the Ministry of Lands and Regional Government for quite a while now. Both the public spaces created serve as amenities and services within the layout, and the residential plots already allocated by government have not been spared. The legal tools that are guiding government to execute the demolitions exercise within these layouts are highlighted below. It is important that we pay attention to these laws. There are three. It's the State Lands Act 57, Cap 57.02, and the Land and Acquisition and Compensation Act, and the Fiscal Planning and Development Act. Government always uses the Land and Acquisition Act before it does anything, meaning in order for you to process and take over land. You need to acquire the land, compensate the relevant people, then you proceed. Compensate and proceed. So, the State Lands Act 5702 means all land referred to under the Section 4 and all lands which have been or may hereafter be acquired or by on behalf of the state for any public purpose or otherwise, however, and all such land designated by the minister under this act. The second one is the Land Acquisition and Compensation Act. Section 3 states that any land acquired under the provision of this act shall be designated as a State Lands Act and shall be administered under the provision of the State Lands Act. The third one is the Fiscal Planning and Development Control Act. In Section 23, subsection 1 and Section 24 states that any new development or change in the development in the designated area for which there is a development plan or a local plan shall be in accordance with the provisions of the plan for the area. And A person shall not carry out any development or any land subject to the provisions of this act unless the person has been issued with a development permit in respect of the land by a planning authority or the area in which the land is situated. So an independent investigation was conducted on the Salaji layout by the Gambia Police Force, and a report was prepared with recommendations which have been acknowledged by the ministry, and it have started implementing them. These recommendations are as follows. These are the recommendations from the findings. The Kenebaring Kabilos, whose lands were acquired for the creation of the layout, to be compensated as required under the Land Acquisition and Compensation Act 5706 laws of the Gambia. The encroachments of the reserved lands, meaning public spaces, by some disgruntled people of the Kenebaring Kabilo to be demolished immediately. The intruders are charged with criminal trespass and forcefully entry, contrary to Section 289 of the Criminal Code Cap 10, Volume 3, Laws of the Gambia. 4. In a way to reduce land grabbing in Salaji, the state should enter into re-entry exercises for those who fail to honor the terms and conditions attached to their allocations. A recent study conducted revealed that the encroachments consist of complete and incomplete fences, buildings under the constructions, fully built structures yet to be inhabited, as well as structures fully built and inhabited. The encroachments within the layout are three main types: the public spaces, the individual plots, and the access blockage. Those are the three areas that we are concentrating in: the public spaces, the individual plots, and the access blockage that are highly been encroached. The encroachment within the layout are of three main types. Like I said, residential plots already allocated to allottees were sold by private individuals other than the persons allocated. This is also a result of the inability of the allottees to fully assess the plots allocated to them. 2. Public spaces reserved for specific purposes were demarcated by individuals and sold as residential plots by private individuals. Access roads were blocked and sold within the layout as residential plots by private individuals. The Ministry of Lands, through its technical departments, have made several interventions to curb these illegal developments from time of their inception through dialogue and traditional landowners, field inspections to stop the illegal development, execution of demolitions on encroachments, press conferences, and sensitizations. Demolition encroachments and illegal developments. After numerous complaints lodged of the Ministry of Lands by allottees about the illegal developments of their allocated plots and public spaces reserved by other individuals, coupled with several interventions made by the Ministry of Lands and its departments to curb the encroachments, the ministry has now resorted to undesirable options to demolish all encroachments and illegal developments within the layouts. The Ministry of Lands had earlier issued a press informing the general public that anybody who is affected by the encroachment and is unable to access the plots allocated to them to submit a complaint to the Department of Lands and Survey, attaching a copy of their allocation letters or lease. The report has also been submitted to the ministry following an instruction from the ministry to its technical department to jointly conduct a recent study of the encroachments within the layout in consultations with the 2 Kabilos remaining to be compensated. The chief of the Kombo North, Alcalo of Sukuta, and some private individuals who has a hand in selling land in Salaji, these measures are such that an informed decision would be made pertaining to the subject. The Department of Fiscal Planning and Housing, being the institution responsible for the coordination of the demolition, has ensured to exhaust all the pre-demolition exercises procedures before embarking on the demolition exercise. These procedures entail the following. 1. A field inspection together with the surveyors from the Department of Lands and Surveys to make an inventory of all encroachments and the magnitude of the developments. 2. Serving of a demolition notice, Form 14, to the encroached properties and structures. Requesting for security assistance from the Gambia Police Force to escort the demolition team. A joint field inspection was conducted together with personnel from the Gambia Police Force to familiarize them with the ground situation in order to adequately prepare for the exercise. The demolition exercise has been scheduled to be in 2 phases due to the magnitude of the developments and the intensity of the exercise. The first phase, which is the demolition of the encroachments within the public spaces reserve, has already commenced, and its completion is pending the eviction of the buildings which are already inhabited. Upon successful completion of the first phase, the second phase, which would be the demolition of the encroachments of the individual plots already allocated and access roads blockage would commence accordingly. So currently we are commencing with the public spaces, those who have actually encroached within the public space that are meant for the inhabitants to use, like the churches, the schools, the football fields, the cemeteries. A copy of the layout plan highlighting all the public spaces affecting within both the Salaji layout proper and the extension are herewith attached for ease of reference. Note, there are many layouts created by government throughout the country, such as the Fajara layout, the Kanifing Industrial layout, the Kanifing Estate and Kanifing South layout, the Kotu layouts and Kotu institutional layouts, the Bigelow layout, Banjul Tobacco Road layout, the Banjul Kampama layout, the Coastal layout, Old Yundum layout, the Faji Kunda layout, the Latrikunda Sabiji layout, the Nemasu layout, Tanji layout, Brusubi layout, Sotokoi layout, Brikama layout, the Farafenye layout, and finally the Basse layout. Salaji is not the only government layout in which demolition is carried out. Demolition exercises have been recently carried out in Nemasu layout within the public spaces, such as what has been started in Salaji, and the exercise will continue in all the government layouts where the public spaces and the individual plots are illegally encroached upon. The other government layouts where demolitions will take place are Old Yudum layout, Coastal layout, and the Tanji layout and the Sotokoi layout. And this brings us to the end of the report, of the Salaji report. And I would like to thank you all for listening and taking note of some of the key areas that we've talked about, which I think is important, which is that the public spaces. I think these public spaces are meant for everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DPS. Any comment before we open the floor? Any additional input from DPS before we open the floor? Set for questions and answers now? I think you'll need to come here. Okay. Okay, have any supplementary comment before we open?
I just wanted to say I'm here with the technical team, my colleagues from the Department of Fiscal Planning and Development Control as well. So they will be able to highlight some of your concerns in regards to the demolition exercises. I think most of you are very concerned. Like I said, the demolition exercises are based on the public spaces, which is based on the master plan that we have. And these are government layouts. And I think everybody will understand that public spaces are for everybody. And it will be illegal to be building on public spaces, which is meant for the usage of the whole community. Thank you very much.
Can we just summarize in the local language?
Yeah. Yeah, I can help summarize in the local languages. And thank you. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Mbara be kontonna alton al kontongola comme diamla fo la fi nyaming min kana honorable minister and DPS admin das Mr. Tal comme e kam min faale wonde update mi anko exas mi anko no so bakke kan salaji comme ka bendo min keken nagere say nga nyaming gembe jam media be a capture mo wi wa fo kan physical plan de demolition la salaji physical plan de demolition salaji but mi demolition sabu e bolo explain kam pour mbisa understand no madam demolition kekam tonya e kanto je mbado ko nyinke kam wadon to fana man ko min na wisti kata boy mul kan téléphone be ndo nyamo allen to la ka place de bi nto lo bakela for the interest of the government so amunke comme ministre mi fale man ko ñew jawati mbe banko di fana noma mbe banko ñata noma molin franco dia affected ba fle ci hakatu aman ko to fana na amba nato di on ngani yoti kata boy mul kele bungol fo ko le bungol ko kele bungol boy comme nga benyami salagi li atlo mi anko gofene a design pour kadi gamelo la mi anko dia qualified pour ces sindije kaka sidulati so silawdo nyin kono na do dal so mi anko no la plan pour kaka na public usage comme na football filolu na salkiralu na jamolu dinu fiad lalu no sidin schoololu community central ni alonko an cemetery mi anko ndol bi alon ko in a society interest sinolo nyokan society whereby mo festival so no miss na jang demejon dado bije ekatamo 2 kilometers 3 kilometers pour kata baade ko nyini ekatamo so distance mi ko ekata jamo nyini ko to have an access pour kata salkirato so walatina ma seconda le ko need lam pour kany lanso ke restore si yagele mun be sino la into isi mun fa no nyin keno la nyaadile so wala mun dafa no wulen county kata do nyin kata ke boyndi so buray lo kamala mbafal be ala baraka
baraka bake be mu journalist la lungo I have to say something
sañ ba kala nyameng ni nyinin karo soto mialon ko ilafta ka nyinin ka ari journalist ya nyinin ke o fana ha journalist o ba o luwa mu luwalti ni ko be luwalti nyala de benna sa ne nyinin karo soto yalon ka kumata le journalist o jibi mi be dam journalist o long ya di wala wasa nyinin ke anu fana nyinin karo nyim fana alsa keno kawo kanto anyinin karo kam manika kangoto wala surwa kango wala fula kawo nyinin karo ke kango minna ibe jabe lawo kangol la ala bara sai si nin karo
comme ministre fo nyame an journalist o bal dala alsa fo e ole nyinin karo nke manika kangoto surwa kangoto fula kangoto srawle kango jola kangoto karoni ko fen fo mu gambia kangoti be kanyanta ja sa embe bunda yele la man lafta nyinin karo kelo ise tofo ibe media bundamento ane lafta nyinin ka njumana nyinin ka we need to record your sound. No, because it will interrupt. No, that is a floating mic, take it. Let's follow the protocols at least, Yes, thank you.
I guess I'm very audible. My mic is not coming.
Go ahead. You can hear. Hold the mic.
My name is Alil Jallo. I work for the Fado Network.
Alil, use the mic, my friend. What's wrong with you?
The mic is not coming. It's coming. Alright, my name is Alil Jallo from the Fado Network. So my question is, were there any prior notice given to the affected individuals? Because most of them complained that they were not given prior notice, and even if they were given prior notice, the notice was very short. My other question is, what plans does your office have to address the humanitarian and legal consequences of demolition on the affected families? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. I think that we have served them a notice. Several notices were served in this particular area. The last notice that we served was sometimes August in 2024, and the last one that was served was March 2025. That's what the notice that we served for these people occupying these places.
So my next question was answered.
What was the next question?
Put in place by your office to the affected farmers.
Actually, we are a department and we are actually working under a ministry. So I believe the ministry will take over that responsibility with them.
But are there any plans? I understand that you are a department, but at least as a department, you work closely in line with your office, right?
Mm-hmm.
To actually put up plans to put some compensation.
The TPS can help you answer the question, right?
The notice you can explain in my legal.
Sorry. I'm coming. Mbami fokan ala jabiroto. Ay nyinin kale fon na so safi ñu datol nu. Natana ko so safi jele in 2024 August, and the last notice na min safi was this past March 2025. So akany nyinin ka fon fo amba the legal coming bongol mi mbote je fon na ministry on the department of blosure je bam pour ka je mbol ko kele nyaadi le. Natana ko ne PS be jane, then the PS will give you that feedback inshallah.
Okay, good morning. My name is Amadou Dafe. Thank you, Honorable Minister, the directors, DPS, and media houses. The question is very important pertaining to compensation. Here, the perspective we understand is the Land Acquisition and Compensation Act. Therefore, the minister is working with the two cabildos currently. Engagement is always been done. I think in 2 weeks ago, we met one of the cabildos from Sukuta. We learned that still now the process is going on to compensate them. And it is their right for them to be compensated. But we are very concerned and we are working with the two cabildos specially affected, correct? Coming I question o min ñinika wolem na mu tol department o wala ministry be mu nekké kam pour ka mol ci so ñabu mel yalo ne ko i affected sallaji je so ntol ye jero ke ñam comme lawyer fo ñam DPS ya rit janne na loi ki to men ko land acquisition and compensation wolem ni be keno tala mo lu ñata ji so ñabu lan so mbe do ko ke kan ministry pour ni o kabilo fulol pour ne compensation o be laban bo ke kanne andu ni be ñoo engage kanne so lokum fula komanto inata ministry inata SMT to SMT wala mo director be ka bendame to local government ka kuol kacha so minister e lahidi ko compensation o be kelal so obita kanne.
Next question. Okay, I'll give him answer. You can just answer to save the.
Yes, I'm Adam Fadera. I'm working for Lembekiri and Home Digital FM. Mala fula ni karo mandi kakatna. Mr. Kwaya ni karo dam. Lami karo menti follow. Ini karo menti wala mol beni alon ko wala be nyindulando jamal be je kan men fo wala nyindiko. Ya kaito sodala kabo physical planning. Approval jani bela dulan lola. And then fanang ya foko ika tax fanang jole to jiare and then fanang ya foko ya alkal kaitol sodole ni nyimbe sodola ya mera physical planning for atola la mistake ko minti bang alla la me alon ko ali allocate le purposely pour public place pour mo kilune na recommend mo kilune na song pour mo na aylo ko la ning ayatara ye mem fo wala sabata Fulja menti wala mu nyin kabilo men yalon ko men boko kenebaring anin kabila dol men yalon ko aliya foko wala la dula nyin tata mune atinna kabiri mo wato la fobi wal man compensation o sotno fobi demolition o statale ngaje adia mo wul kam mune mu daliloti me adna compensation o manke kabiri wato men na fonfu da nyin temboro and then na nyin kan la bon ke ba men bembara alko isi ni kumodi journalist ay même fo wala ñindi ko itolé menje wala mo physical plan na moli kenol men wafi itolla dula albuko lu boy bari itolé kenol wafi alcool boy fo le sabata bang ni wo sabata monati na physical plan na moli kenol men wafi wol buka boy itolé kenol men wafi wol ka boy.
Okay, Abaraka answer la ila fenke follow iko compensation ni hakilo be la question le lafta siala domandi iko compensation compensation start tale amal banne bare start tale anu concerned people be janne ni ko compensation man start wo be njahal start tale mam bang anu luala fo ala ya long we dol fango lota wala ni be mo la ken wotala ika juso nyabule loi ñin data le compensation ol mam bang mantaria but ba try kan di koren management ba try kan ataria de nyawnya pour ka compensation keje ila question do be je iko munatna physical plan ka dula dol boy ye damet for public space dula dol même public space ko boy ni mo kibaro soto a jartale na mansa kundaya naketa officer men involved wala men involved yesem bo fana soto le kata IGP ya because IGP da male sembo soto ka cool investigate so wo bundal be yelerine anin ka futa minister ma fana ka fay nyin kari nyin officer kari ani nyin officer kari ndol yamera be janne so ibe abekela comme iba ale tane foni police ol ya establish to nyaale so moma mo stop wala bundal be yalini wala it's a minister jenole ya fay ko nyine be kering ka pour financial londo soto no je ni man na department also wala ministry sitano IGP fana yale ya ko complain o DJ ye investigation o di so ye notice ko fana fo ni hakilo bagan ko okay o document o fana one reason nga notice o staff amanke at times kan notice o staff le rek on lafta ka implement exactly notice o ko mu situation o de ka safe ko nyine be keri but for it men staff ye kayto men soto fo futata authority o liale bang meli ye staff ya fo e ko nte kayto soto janne pour kayto nyi ya verify wo fana mu imari la nyantole di e manyata ka si damma ni staff notice o la yetara siri ya fo no kayto bente bulle ni staff e nyanta kata meli ye staff yeta pour ya clear that nte kayto soto janna na botal la institutional to so ibaje la ko imari safo no data physical plan ne na kayto soto nyindula karine andu inata ya boy tol fanan so kalmuta bari follow to ntela londo to mo kalamuta follow mbe all welcome la mele kayto soto je ise futan na department to wala ye futa ministry ka kayto tandi ministry management team wala pour ka jibe ka kayto kiskis.
Anyway, not question. I don't feel I question
Mike.
Yes.
Yes. Many environment. Mami and Jami. The following menti. What is the ye pamilo sono kutoka kuno. For sabata la mkoi pamilo sono. Nimo sabata koi pamilo sono kuno. Jumane ina deliver ina ni aya physical plan for it also so na ko ko mistake no because it only driving the road is a public space it will kill na da kasino di pour mo jelo wono kill na no dami pour mo kana nina.
Let me try to answer the question. I think I understand what you say in regards to those who are actually inhabited and have documentations, which you are saying allegedly coming from clearances from the fiscal planning. As the current management that we have now, we embarking on a lot of reforms with the help of the World Bank. And based on those reforms, what we are doing is we using the tools we currently have, and those who are affected, who feel that they have papers and they were given development permits and fencing permits to do that through our departments, our technical department, have the right to come forward to the ministry and explain so that we can look and make further investigations towards that. But currently what we are doing, we're just going by the letter of the law. And that is by saying that all public spaces need to be demolished as based on the master plan of the layout. So if there are other irregularities that have been happening in regards to from our technical departments to wherever, I think those individuals should come forward to the ministry and lay their complaints, and the ministry will take further actions and investigate further to this matter.
Thank you. Maybe you can summarize that in Mandinka.
Comme aka même fo na project wol soto le men fanan ko kuol jibe mele ala ne koy kaytol soto na keta ello le keta na department to ello le keta comme fencing permit soto wala building permit soto ni space to mel nka wol fo na project wol soto le comme aka même fo World Bank la project ko men lafto jibe la comme ka mol jiso nyabu so ku fulanjaŋo fana ka meŋ fo comme ni wol keta fanaŋ ye futana ministry pour sa jibe wo kayitol sotota ñaadi le mu ne keta je ni investigation niita pour ay ke because mool hakko mu mool hakko le bare a beteyata le dammal ye communicate na long ni e feŋo di le be sirin dula kili imam futa e ñanta futa la autorité ol men yabe kol yala so wala na ni e saf notice ola a doyata ñawoña a meta ñawoña e ñanta ka futa ma moya di la ye futa kan so do fana question o ñin ka jan ñin jiarel ni ani comme meta kan namol jogo area council wala jiare membe je physical planning ne ka ñin planning determine no damen to ñanta kala kordati damen to man ñanta ke kordati so hani mo ni tata si ji siloto ji siloto be damen to physical plan ma kalamuta comme mo namo college lal nata e be namo college la because e be sabatini dulato e ba college la so o man ken tolla area ti ban tolla area mu da hadama di won ñanta tarla damen to ani mo ñanta senol kala damen to ani kudol ñanta kala tolle marta wala so namo college ka namo college o man ken tolla area ti.
There is one question from the old dad.
No, but we have another question. Next.
No, I've already asked the question. It's not answered.
About yes, the old dad. Pabi ni menjini ka ko ay accusation wala ko physical planning official be salaji le many alon ko ye kenol wa fije le bari bu ko boy ike to la kenol le boy fani sabata wa na sabata wa. Okay, DPS ya final investigation o
ketale num police men lead na mena sukuta mo doli ya kala mutale comme afa nyam police report o dile mo bulo mamuta pour yeta comme ni fem moy information o soto comme ministry of information ka ke nyamen ka molbe kumandi kon na kacha mo mamuta pour yeta ye complain loj kare nyine be kerin kare nyine be ila nyantolem ani institutional be jamanke ministry of lands damati men nyanta ko be dunila institutional be mel marta ka investigation okay ni fen ye allegation okay officer kan wala so kana si ni nga fe moy na futa ministry ni man satisfied na futa police fanan ya ko investigate so tol mam mo stop wala mo nala nyantole.
Next question. Name media organization. You can ask in
good morning, I'm Boubacar Sow, a reporter for West Coast Radio. My question is, with similar exercises planned in other layouts, how will your department ensure those affected are treated fairly and properly informed in advance?
Thank you for that question. If you notice, a few months back, the Honorable Minister Ahmad Bah has actually launched task forces, several task forces, including the Karmalo Task Force and the Tanbi Wetland Task Force, and also the Government Layout Task Force. And these are highly led by very professional and experienced people, former ministers and directors, to look into the allocation of land, plots and properties within those layouts. So this is all to cope all the issues of irregularities that you have been highlighting here. That is the reason why those task force, like the Kamala task force, like Minister has actually came here before and gave a report, and we are all aware what the outcomes and the findings of the Kamalo. The same thing is going for the Tanbi wetlands, also those who are actually building within the wetlands, which is something that is very important, which has an environmental impact to all of us. And also you have the layouts also. We have several layouts that the task force that is looking into all the layouts, encompassing also the wetlands and even Kamalo again. And those also involve, they're going as far as looking at the environmental impact of those layouts. So once the report is out, we will come to the same position here and give a report on the findings of that.
Okay. DPS quand même fo wolem comme ñin kar la ya ñin ka ñame wolem be mune kela comme na layout ol men fo comme la public space ol lafta woli e firi be mune kela akatandi ko minister e task force kafole lo melialonde pour ka investigation okay comme alia fo ñame investigation ol bitakanne Tambi wetland mayalon ka started since 1984 approved in 1985 and is an international reserve men datita pakaw kata fo abuko koma ni ba dandamala wo investigation o ketale press release ketanu jang anu ay task force do fanal launch kadati 2017 kana for 2024 wo task force wole independent body letter pour ka investigate allocation ol fon ka kenyadi le wo bakery for the first time fana mansa kunda nata ka fel launch me al auditing auditing for the first time ka auditing ke na allocation olto ikna allocation cordal ka di nyame ani di ta nyame sai wo team fulol bita kanne wala mansakunda national audit sasile aning ay minister tax force fanan londi pour ka jibe since 2017 kana for 2024 will be la do ko ke kan be mit kanne andu mo jamale be kono mel yalla ne ko respectful tabake ini results be fitilana so comme ali afonya investigation be ke kan ku dolto so a betiatal nana bi ñol dum comme ko o fanan sen yande.
Next question. No? Media practitioner?
Yeah, I'm a freelancer.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yes.
You raise
Wait.
Are you journalist?
Yes, I'm from Siyasal Akhbar Arabic Media Platform.
Which media house? I'm a freelancer.
Siyasal Akhbar.
A photo journalist. Assalamu alaikum. One minister. I'm going to question that. Before layout, number Kachala for Oriental. Let me see the car, local mineral lands. I think Aleka Kachala. Because it was at the Holland and farm so. We are finding Maleka and then the public and the media want to see things. We really so many are Carlo Kachala. At night, we chat. Go, give a out. So the ministry was the public of the country who never be a and can you and it are the police are educated out. The second point is compensation have to be paid for the allocation. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Well, if you listen to the report, there's a sequencing in terms of acquiring, creating a layout. First, the acquisition and compensation comes into play, like we said, then followed up by the other procedures. But like you said, the other details that you want in terms of minuting and stuff, that's not why we're here today. We're here to present the report, not to give details of other things. If you want details, you should maybe, yes, you send a request to the ministry and we will be able to answer the question. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we have the Access to Information Act, whereby citizens can request information.
Yes.
So we are an open government.
Okay. Can I?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Coming PS coming fight I jabi ni karo mi kejanting abola jabi kam. Ka tandala ko kabila bari poro ni karangan jang. Procedure mi an ko igole ke to acquire this land I will be read in the report. But Hansa not at among Contano wala or mat at a sea, Hansa Asakata Nole, I request to the ministry, inshallah, by Jabila Fajabi, Alessandra.
Assalamu alaikum. Honorable Minister, in the canton,
Name and media.
Bashir Seladi, Siyasal Akhbar Arabic Media Platform. So, my question is, what I mean, din grand mini alonko be river de ndala ji de come from for example bu food ni magana tema and tobe da ma fon la je mini alonko isubiata ba GCO in a packet so sama kono ka mon affect ba so ministry mi malta lands and local government ya mun policy le so pour ka nduwana pour mon min bo de ndawni na ko sawndi e je use comme je ke famine din grand mini alonko c'est non c'est que non je banano ni fen koto nyango se molla balwo nafano so because the grand nyango mo min stay a risky da man koy c'est problème yama so no jere sama ko ni sama si ala bungo ka boy jere fen so wadi grasi fa fo it will compensate la no bang ni kacha wale use pour mo la economy mo la balwo sa nyandi no nyango wala na question sala
okay abaraka ila question no kumaya bata a very important question. Wala physical planning fon loda wala kama be question on men nyini kaka wala ka planning ke anika land use ning guide niko land use comme ka men for important tabaki banko mune seke noji ka design wala tentete ning waka be project ko ke kan ni mel ka GRTS ibanin TV mo ke kan like the go to stream lafta revitalize lale and land use maintain fit for the purpose coming a design tanyame yemen fofana ni national disaster be do ko lale kanyin dulal jibe hotspot areas ning disaster be do ko we have a committee na committee la soto ka hotspot areas wol jibe meral la ko hadama di mo nyana ka sije bar mel sita fanan be compensate la nyame comme na kenu ko to kuare ni ngaji be internationally mo nyana ka sabati kuare to international wo mo international world but nata dula create ka fo damento ala tentu layout so ala tentu la soto koy so nate wol sambaje bare hani sai aka koli ambulu ye mo me ala ya jiso nyabu ye fendin diala e kay ta sije amurta kuare to kotinga akata jiso ni jele tatano so aka koli am bake mbulu so ninga anytime ninga action all start keje mo buka understand comme ni be docteur tentu la hani sai ni mi press briefing na because abentol le makoy kam so la question o kuma ya bake andum be hakilo to lay damento fo.
Just to add to that question, in regards to the people lodging within waterways and areas that are, because the ministry is currently working on a policy with WACA, the West African Coastal Area Project, which is actually trying to address the issue of the wetlands, the intrusion in the wetlands, the waterways and the high tables. And through that, we're trying to come up with a resettlement action policy, which will help in terms of helping people not to, start continuously intruding within those waterways. So with the policy going on right now and the action plan, that will help in the future to settle all these problems.
Any more questions? The lady. Any media organization and any language of yours?
Assalamualaikum.
No. She was before you. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Samantha. I'm a reporter from the Standard newspaper. Since the affected residents are not dwelling into private property but government land, my question is, why would government not consider the hardship these people would face and let them stay instead of destroying their properties? And my second question is, why did the government fail to stop affected people from constructing structures that are in the first place? Surely, with all the security forces at its disposal, had the capacity to stop any constructions there from the beginning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. As it is stated in the report, I think I made mention of that during the transition of in Mandinka. Actually, these are public spaces, and we all know the problem currently this country is facing. I have made mention of it here. If you go to settlement, still, people still struggle to have access to some of these social amenities. You see people will travel almost 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers to look for a cemetery, which is actually very inconvenient. If you go to the education standard, a child or a children should not travel more than 3 or 5 kilometers for a school, most especially nursery schools. So it is deemed important that these people really need the services within their domain to have access to the social amenities. And your second question about stopping them at the inception of this development. The department has made several attempts to stop these people. And having this security to our domain, it requires certain procedures. We need to apply and get approval for the securities to come and join with us to do this exercise. Our technicians have been sent to this area to serve them in several numerous occasions to the extent of catching them away. And there are also people who are serving their purposes. So in order to protect them, we need to follow the due process in order to apply what is required on the ground.
By virtue of what you say, there are still gaps. We will try and adjust on that area, especially on the monitoring side. Thank you.
Gentleman, name media organization.
Assalamualaikum. Nadia Kontondaget, Lami Fati Kerfatu. Nakashnaria Islam Paranakan. Mujawli in Bambu kan atale tumi. Ikan teleka kimo di mola. Mo kan kena Islam Panin. Akan mi foi ko dirda abena ente ko tike. Ata ko 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 bol frankan. Alko damu sa banet. Itu mo frankan ko risa dawali nala bone na mena. Ata ko to mi tsaka ata ka muru ka kude de no tema ka waf timbango ganja. Wala ene bol boshka. Ale ni kelen ale ko force ke kuma de ke sindi ko ale do dami bisa bulano bari mbele na ale kacha kalon ale boja you kala mo ni tala je ko ka do beso ko and kado ko kasan asan lo la mo jumala sa ko jumala ne su ka ne ko da ko ndem pelonji ne bi sa ko ne ha mo pelonji am mo baaxam sa ni bokko ko mo bidol sa dama ko extra panel dama ko minister of planning so ko la al ko mo sa ke mo je na me kan kana je mo do ga ko rena lo ko kan ja adisa ganga so ni ko do ya ni ko do ya ko expensive no da ganga yes ko mulo
Okay, Baraka, bagela nyinin karo. Ela tamone nyinin, ela nyinin. Yeah, we got the background. Just ask the question so that you know that. Yeah, just ask the question. No, that's your question. That's your statement.
Okay. Labor Abaraka bagela ela nyinin karo la. I think namba nimba nyo lamoy kang aning hakilo lambo nyo faham lale. Coming PS DPS afala jande. Ala kam info ko fiscal plan ko la kenol ni sta ike wifi illegally or legally. You still have that opportunity. You go to the ministry. You ask for the information. If you have any evidence, tell it before them. Attend le ko ndla ka do fe ba fiscal plan ko le wifi ndla. O ndla ka do fe ne modi fiscal plan ay tan yena gumbendi. O nte pamito sorle ejen yena gumbendi. Attend the ministry la. The ministry will launch an investigation on that aspect and they get back to you. Now still, we may set it there for now. Police. We are a Gambian. You are a Gambian. You don't have to do the You understand? You don't have to do the You don't do the Go to the police, tender your evidence before them, and they mount an investigation against it. Whoever is found wanting, the law will deal with you. That's clear.
Can I add on? Yes.
We want to
give him chance to elaborate on it.
Okay, Abaraka, comme il est tati ya fo janne, comme ownership. Ownership different way level. Yeah, the same question. Okay, ye ownership ko fo janne, comme tati ya physical planning. Physical planning buka tati ya determine no at the beginning. E buka determine no. Mostly akadati alkalo layer, ni customary. You understand? Nakata layout olem. Department of Lands and Survey will allocate. So ntolka planning advice like a planning advice in koleke. So sign na kudo introduce 2018 la coordinate system o introduce le. Comme you come for ka feel le tumondo yeka mistake ise dula sign me alone ko imaje ku ase sutiano risafo la. Do ko risafo but me a sign amaje ku. But kabit na coordinate system o introduce since 2018 ne coordinate o pick damento akamuta mobile number ite damale tamod ya pick kenomento o keno damal tamo coordinate so wala na sign ni mentata na official to clearance so ikaje la coordinator katare ni adundi rek akata GPS system o nyinto abe lorin damento so wonyante advice lale foje inyata land use report soto la fo manya na ka soto so ela ku sifal in 2018 karanta auto na coordinate system o introduced in 2018 and melbe jama mel ka land process okay ya lon ko clearance o kanyil and coordinator le ka use pour ya also.
Several question. I'll call you unless like conversation. Nico Brempo, Renjala, Yanji, Belendin, Clara Kemo, Hansign, Karadi, Kabora Mudema, Yanama, Budema Soro. So you guys are talking about the more conversation. I didn't have much conversation, I'm going to make a sign. I'm going to conversation.
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
We are saying,
ni masakuna ko adesida ka meso ko play conference ka bendida asmol jahad last time tala bendi press conference ko ministry ko boli masrume ko ka bora pundu ka nani ko tema so bi ni nga moy ko ani ka do sia ka ko compensate mile ke mo sande e compensate ba ko la on le compensate na compensate pa pe sia
if I understand, you mentioned the Berending issue, the demarcation of the border. And I think the information that there is no budget for that, I don't think that's an accurate information. Actually, we started working on it, and unfortunately, it came towards the end of the fiscal year. And that's the reason why we could not process, because most of the time, the people engaged, especially the vendors, were coming to closure of their accounts. So we could not engage and get into the next fiscal year. So, but currently, we have actually budgeted for that, and it's ready for implementation as soon as possible. The budget is already available.
Okay, ika kumo mem for important Berending issue. I think It's a big concern to ministry, DPS here for Nyame. Science will be work out. Coming ni ko kodi ko budget o mansodo, coming akafole omu misinformation. And one thing nyanta coming understand, be young physical plan le. So physical plan na role take a boundary damakate. Omu another sister institution wala la role mu wadi. So même form of physical plan fanam batandika mol me la functions long which dol fonga ya discourse le nita more public awareness le la. Because fengo feng mol ka jele comme local government fengo be mu physical plan la manke fengo be mu physical plan. Dol man nyanto soto ka boundary damakate. Na sister institution soto la même Department of Lands and Survey wala malta boundary la and in titles. So wofana mbejile kata ko be ke kanne a discuss na SMT tole pour gunjur ni branding ko tema. So niko jusu nyabo je fana wobe question maybe land so bandola role mu mendi kabeng ye assignment odi wala ka boundary ni bondi pexol be data le pour boundary ni bondi. So comme DPS ya fo nyame man sakunda ni be fengo fenkela e ka vendo sol le invite nakata spendi chobeje e buka quota e damma ya spend e ka mo sabale invite wole nanang wole ya jibe jumale suitable ta men sa keno yota. So tending is a high priority at the Ministry of Local Government.
Next question? Any? If not, then follow up. Okay. You can ask and then after. How much time do we have?
Thank you. Again, many complain of the issues of alcalos, but my question is, what coordination exists between your office and the local authorities when it comes to allocating or approving residential areas, lands? So the next question is, how does fiscal planning verify land ownership and ensure that construction only happens on a legal approved sites to avoid the point of demolition? So you can give it another chance. I will ask about the keyboard house issue, where many actually allege that the lands were given by the physical planning. Thank you.
Okay, Abaraka, ela kili rokang, walem first. Ela question follow.
Coordination.
Memuna do ning alkalo local authority ka do ko get nyame. Niaji be since the indirect rule to abola jamano keta nyame. Aketa la coming in local authority lebe deal la direct of most of the process. 30 ya akadati alkalo le ya. Foye alkal kaito soto yena ntolina reporto dila. Ninga reporto dila nga official transfer dila kode ibo murlo alkalo le ya kotenke ya authenticate alkalo ya tandiko abala sate wala to meng tobeje wole tam alkalo fanan na nyantolem jannabe sign in kela ayta kenoto ay lo ay jejibe fo akamen sign fo mari le tamo fo tante. So ni alkalo e fen sign me alone ko o mari tante wo fana mu kuma dodi but alkalo la responsible na boto le na CFO ya CFO fana la doko menti wolem sate fulol tema akana alkal do kana ta sate do ta sign CFO yana aya authenticate wolem aya approve. So na kaiti system o be atata nata ning alkalo ni CFO local authority ni wolle ka fenke ninga problem o fana soto ngani mol fana kumandile ko ni mo fulo dunta na jibe ko nying inyanta compromise la le si badi yangol ka fole alta CFO ya wala alta alkalo ya ni ma fono isitano district tribunal to ye CFO ya la kiti dingol kumandi kena ki wala ye kachala. So ntolla ko be ni local authority o lekal mbuka si office to na ko be approve je.
Coming at escalating is important. We are government officials. But traditionally in the Gambia, the alkalos and the Kabilo hit. One most of these commercial, if you go, they'll tell you this is our Bulunda. They know the history of their land more than we do. But we only advise on the land use of the area. That's why clearly we tell you, physical planning document will not determine your ownership. You still need to go further to obtain the ownership of the property you are applying for. We only advise you on the land use, and we give you the development permit after the completion of your ownership. So the alkalos and the Kabilo heads within the locality will determine your ownership at the grassroots.
Most of the time, this is actually done, from the onset, and then later the physical planning guys will just come and give you a permit. But Now in this issue, in this current issue, you know, there's always demolition.
Yeah.
Some of these affected families already have proven complete physical planning, and also documents to show that they own the land.
I think we still need to make this clearly. The alcalos, these are irregularities. I think they are sitting here saying there are certain civil government officers engaging in the translation of their documents. You understand? It also needs honesty in the aspect of dealing whatever you are doing. If the alcalo being the head of the village, don't give accurate information of whatever is happening, should not be the responsibility of physical planning. Our responsibility will be, we make sure you obtain the right ownership of the property before you develop it.
Next question.
But my second question is
No, sorry.
You've already.
Yes.
I raised two questions.
Okay.
Which one?
The second question is, you know, the steps that physical planning is taking to prevent illegal settlement before reaching the point of demolition.
I think it's all part of the reform. I think it was clearly said here by the DPS. And I also made mention of it here. We have been having a technician team that are monitoring all development, ongoing development within the country. But the capacity is still lacking. So we are working on it, at least to meet the demand.
The issue of Ivo Town, where residents of that area, especially in the wetlands, are like that physical planning where very people sold these places to them and allocated them building permits.
Yes, I think we are going out of the very purpose of this press briefing here. This is purely Saladi. And for Iwotan, we are aware of it and we make sure we do whatever necessary is to be done.
In extension, like I said earlier, there are task force that are made to look into these affairs, even the Ivo Town, the bypass and all that. When the report comes out, you'll have the opportunity to ask some of those questions again, okay? Thank you.
Demand and then no, that one, demand. Then after come.
Okay, so once again. Correction of the maybe Flalom. First one, I'm within the Ministry of Local Government and Lands and Region Affairs. Correction of Minister Wolamu, Keno Mialo Gaddafi Mas, Nakalam the media, come the case from Start Ruka Rapport, it was a video after. And Dungalon Jamal always, a Keno Jama Beltate. Because community development on Monla, Gino, Manila, school or Madraso Minkakije. So, okay, no law to go over Yandela for Napona, Yawaf, for government, you can count the secondly, for government, Mukakeno, the Jamola, and in Madrasola, Bangkok, and Madraso, community service and community development in Katarwala, Londo, and in Karoni, Kamon Educate. So, second correction flying out, Ministry of Lands and Religion Affairs. For a policy that sort of come, Kasarali Minkadi Alcalo Name, you often the Imam, Nadon Imam Kabun play community from Akawara, Cabrina, Skulio, Fudusidol, Samalon Bankera Keratana, and sometimes Sudo 3, Kekole, Kuala. Nakam, the government is in Pakeneta, Ninlas, Temple Minketan State House. Yes, Imam Rati of Banjul. And Christian Council, la President, yes, I really don't do it. But other imams come in Alcalo and fall it often profile and over Franjan Bank. Because now it's well right them, the Qatari, community day and night.
Thank you very much for a very precise question. What I would say is, in regards to the other areas you're talking about, today is the presentation of the Saladi report, which we have exhausted intensively. In regards to the other areas you're talking about, we don't want to preempt the outcome of the report of the other task force. That would be very premature of us to start getting into areas that are being under investigation. So if you can allow those investigations to come out, then the report, when it comes here, you can ask more questions. In regards to the imams, that one I will allow like my honorable minister said, the Mansakuda, the minister, would actually deal with those kind of questions, definitely, as the head of the religious affairs. Thank you very much.
Yeah, let me answer. Hello? Okay, yen kar do ke iko keno me alo ne ko abe apita kan court mbukala fuka diamu je bake because na ko bita kan court mbukala fuka diamu je bake so ku fulan jangolem ninga layout all design public space wol katara school wol ning other things wol. So ni me project proposal soto wala yo sifa soto e ka apply le through the Department of Lands and Survey. Yela project ko ya justify ibe Gambian jelle employ la ibe ko wol men be ke la o school oto. So ni public space wol ni school wol men be je be lori wolle kama ibe wolle batun kam. So ni momo e project ko soto me alon school olem health center lem mel be community nafala. Kana hesitate ila project proposal o feke yeta ya submit Department of Lands and Survey. So untol ba jibe la ni land be available public space also. So time olen kata na allocate. So maybe most amera ko time on physical planning wala my local government ka keno di mo la but project proposal la le kasafe. Ha abar.
Moment wala ko ay kay moment sa bakata ni mo na medicine salaji ko ay nyanta wala jira wala masakunda wala tajira ko ale wata sutun ni la mentata maji karoti mo wani lu wani seyo ataka boy wala jira ko notice ni asutiaka bake ani funa jawo fata sindi chomen ka kay to nyimala ko o mari fatala aka mun na kay to nyin ali afoje ali sindi to ke ne alon ka mari matari batul.
Okay, abaraka bake sister ila ñin karoto. Nambra mabunda kan ko take. Nko nañun safle last year August 2024. They were served. Again, I mean for to yalam ne safle ko take on the 25th of this last March. Of the ne safle then on the 28th we embark on the demolition. Afoyo ko let the rest also whatever information on that notice served to them, we take the full responsibility. We sign it. Me assign Amon Faba Niolale and he's still working with our department.
This row, finish this row now, and then after that. It's getting interesting. I'll stand it down. I'll give it to him and then we move to the next.
Good morning. My name is Osman Chara from KTV. I just wanted to make an inquiry for one of the affected individuals who is from the diaspora, and he wants to know with regards to the compensation. Is every individual going to be compensated? And if that is the case, especially like for individuals who are in the diaspora and they have bought land from locals, let's say like somebody from Sokoto in the same area, in the same salary area, how is their case like? Will they be the ones to physically appear to seek for compensation, or they can delegate someone on their behalf to do the process for them?
Okay, well, what I know in the side of compensation is directly dealing with the Kabilos. We are not dealing with any individual. Here, there is a land that is acquired from the concerned Kabilo. So we are dealing with the Kabilo. If the Kabilo feel that somebody is representing them on behalf of the Kabilo, we deal with that person. Yeah. So we are dealing with the Kabilos, not individual. Coming for, I mean, for mo membe tamadula, wo ni wo nyanta compensate la, coming kenol mel tata mobulu, wo mari be nyanto soto la nyari abakona. Nka mem seniandama wolem, jang kenoni salaji kenoni bota kabilo lebul. So ni compensation obekela abe compensate la kabilo lela.
After the demolition, or they will be compensated before the demolition? No, what I mean, like the ones that are already inhabited in there.
Just to give you a little insight, like we said in the report, that the area has been inhabited partially and fully, and some people are even living there for quite a while. But what we are doing right now, as part of the exercise, we have, like said, some of our staff notice. Even if you notice, some properties have only been demolished at the front, and the reason why it has not continued because there are some people inhabited in between those properties, and we need to observe the notices so that they make sure that some of their valuables can be removed. But like earlier you said, the ministry is dealing with Kabilos, and there are different Kabilos. So maybe the person from the diaspora must have bought from a third party, stuff like that, and that's another story. That will maybe come in the implementing strategy, how to go about it. Because this is a report, every report has a strategy, implementing strategy, how we go about it. And there are different factors to this strategy. You know, we look at the emotional, the human side, and every aspect of life. So as a government, that's what we want to do. We're not here to destroy lives. We're here to, improve lives. So on that basis, we are looking at all strategies. Right now, it's a bit premature. That's what I'm saying. When a report comes out, you want to go into the details of the report. It's going to create a lot of problems and a lot of mind-boggling issues. So it's important now to listen, to digest the report, and we will have further press conferences, and then from there on, we can address other issues, especially when the other three reports are coming out. The layout, the all-government layout in 2017, that will detail a lot of issues. And you have the wetland also, which is a concern to some people, which will also detail a lot of issues. And because of those reports, we have come up with strategies, like I said. The resettlement strategy, resettlement action policies will come along those sides, so that to help those people within those boundaries to be relocated to areas, compensated well. So right now, as this new management team is concerned, and we've been helped by the World Bank to do a lot of reforms within the framework of what we have seen, within the legacies that we have seen at the ministry. So we want to bring the ministry to sanity. And to bring to sanity, you have to undo the wrongs. And that's what we're doing. So right now, in regards to other affected persons, the ministry is concerned, and the ministry will do the needful. We're not going to leave people just languishing like that. We'll do the needful to address some of these issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to add that, I'm coming. Just to add that, the report, soft copies are available. Help us, disaggregate them in the various local languages. If you have a supplementary question, contact us. Like I said, we have the access to information. So if the report is available, you get copies, go through it, make programs in it in the respective local language so that our people can understand. And if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to the government.
Yes. Last question.
Yeah. Soft copies will be available. Yeah, those are, give chance to others. We are running out of time gradually because you have to go back to editorial.
My name is Morgan Balan from Sunrise Arabic Media. My question is there any plans to digitalize lands and constructions to avoid misunderstanding in the future? Then, did the land occupants have any legal permits to build from physical plans or any other authority?
Your first question.
Okay. I think you asked a very important question. Currently, I can tell you, the two directors are on a consultation outreach to different regions. We are trying to create a land policy for the first time. And also the Giraffe project is helping us to digitalize our mapping and the system. Currently, Giraffe is fully supporting the Department of Lands and Survey and Department of Physical Plan. It's a 3 years project, and it has started, and we are very happy to see such kind of project. And the question that because it's a challenge, it's a daily challenge to us. So surely very soon we will see something like that.
Just to add to what he said, like you said, the issue of digitalization. Currently, with the help of the bank, we have a consultant who's working on the land information systems. And this is all part of the digitalization process, because part of the process in terms of the reforms we're doing, we also have to do the legal frameworks, because there are a lot of laws that need to be reviewed in terms of the legal framework. And also the communication strategy is also undergoing, so that we can communicate better with the people outside. So these are some of the major reforms that we think that they are lacking within the ministry. To digitalize recording system, where you can sit at the touch of a finger, you can have all the details you want. And also we're working at the geodetic mapping also to make sure that we can know these spaces are available. Then after we talk about the land policy also is a key to all of that. That will lead to the cadastral mapping. The cadastral mapping will do the zonings so that we know, because we're still using the old master plan, which is archaic right now. Because actually if you look at the master plan vis-a-vis what is the land use plan on the ground, they are totally diverse. They don't speak to each other. So on that basis, that's why we're working on this land policy. And the land policy is ongoing. Now they're on consultations. They have gone district, regional, and state, So they're going around to make sure the consultations, and by June, we'll do the validation exercise where everybody, all the donors, we have circulated the document everywhere so that this will lead. This is the catapult to the success that we are actually trying to get. Thank you.
Yes. Last question.
Second question. Did the land occupants have any legal permit or permit to build from physical plans or any other authority?
Okay, thank you very much. As we are currently on the matter, we don't receive any information of that nature, of that kind within that area. If there's any, we'll be very glad to receive that from them.
Last question.
Yes. Last question, and then we give chance to the others who did not ask. We give chance to the gentleman, and then we close for this. We have to start asking for editorial work.
Assalamualaikum. Okay, my name is Mustafa. PITV Gambia. Okay, tell us what you is progressive. Okay, because you don't need to see in particular order. Can understand? Okay, at all, they am not convenient. The man telling me I am concerned about the official plan. I didn't be for them. The man am concerned. Okay, because we are be more than the element of the do the Kela Bandar. Do the don't look at school because of when the work. Do the right now in one eating bone letter, one corporate letter. You understand? So they left a many are there any document me and go at the alley compensate and the toes at the contact call. Listen. For Aleka Rosa and go, the alley compensate, alley toes at the bank, alley contact. So Lataco like with the simple. And then secondly, Yemi Vala Carola, Waleko, Alta Tenolta, alley boy, okay, now. Alla bari sudo ni aku nyona min imam ko so alko le kama alko le kundi dal
Okay, thank you very much mbadi nga baraka bake la kwa nyinen karoto comme ya mo flo mi fo comme ka fo ela baka so lorin bantale e dunu bara karambuto let's stay they are homeless to a degree amba mbafle si hako boni moli o man kon dafa na wisti anu isala ko bin to balon damindo sama dole betaraje kunu fran dole beje if you are in the position you have to take the responsibility whatever entails with that responsibility so abanyaming abanyaming it coming for about the issue of the compensation owning DBS afajane at our ministerial level they are working with the Department of Lands and Survey. Inventory basically, they also prepare a report, the affected people, they are living in that place, so that whatever should come next, they will actually be put into consideration.
Yeah, that's it. Final question? No? Yes?
Sorry. No, like, okay,
Yeah, government is there a procedure. So you need man sakunda ko nibe banta man sinete amero ko ye tare la nyame. No nibe banta abuka fege. Ni karo. Ngama ajabil.
Okay, no la familia na wala ko wala ko mo me mole ya mi ya ngo yo do ko man sakunda fo ya. Gigani do ka wulu. Mole bi ngo ya doctors, lawyers, lawyers, journalists ya sire ane. Ni ko majibe nyaga ke wari mo leje ani merol bon malon jumale mali be ni tole so ko mo do be ikala mo le ko mi da be sira ya Allah ya ba le ko mi imam do mi ando ay ko mi so ni ko mo le ko mo le nyaka o sinale ba mo ya you are competing right now they are all the ex-teachers
na broda coming abenyami mo buka mo le mind control no min to la kay yeni nen kaminna mbe jable wala na min lonje mbolo fole itla jeroto fine isen wolo jibe ko nyoko is black so that say ko is black no ni ko nyoko is black ita mi black ni daje as white mba fa white lam so te rumit la opinion old at our level samin fono mbolo fole if you need any further information on that aspect you will still have an opportunity to go to the ministry or the Department of Lands and Survey to furnish you with those information please.
Yes. Last question. Last question, please.
Okay. Ala baraka bake en kachabe tente na en kamansa kunda finansoro jumalungo me alon ko mol sina katente kali ala funyame nyinku mata bake mbele tamo nyi bankoti kacha kumata optimo sanji tanko ma nyimbuka ke so ninku ke damba sin ka kacha abete atale ino nganyoso hakilo la jorinyal manke kili barembele tam gambiati ala barakal nata jan nyim kacha be continue la le comme nga fo nyame reporto bi jan journaliste sol ne nyin karo ke ale nyin karo man sakunda bundal be rinne comme ya fo nyame ni kabila nyaton kol be kacha la le kacha be tenten na le so bul Grievance management is part of it, and public service is not easy, and it's encouraging for us to hear the opinion of the people. There are emotions, tempers are high, we understand. We apologize to the citizens on behalf of the Gambia government, but this is the platform that is clear. At times it's going to be tempers will be high, emotions are high. We understand our connection to land in this country. It's an emotional issue, and we understand the citizens. Actually, it is a press conference for the media. The citizens came, and they've exchanged their views. We understand their frustration. On behalf of the Gambia government, and my capacity as deputy spokesperson, I would like to apologize for the citizens. Land is an emotional issue, and that's why we've given the citizens the chance. They've come here, they spoke their grievances, they expressed their opinion. Grievance redress and grievance management is part of the good governance strategy. And we appreciate the citizens who are affected from Kalaji to come here to participate, even though it is only for the media. They spoke their mind. We appreciate it. We understood the anger. We understood the frustration. But be rest assured that, our government under the leadership of Adam Barrow, we believe in the rule of law, the due process of the law. Compensation is a long process, and government is continuity. We've inherited a lot of shortcomings in the First Republic, Second Republic, and then for us in the Third Republic, after 8 years, we are doing our best with our partners, as mentioned by the speakers here. We have the West African Coastal Area. We have the World Bank project reforming. We are going to have cadastral arm. We also have to understand that as citizens, our population is growing. We also have to respect each other's rights. Trespassing each other's rights, neighbors' rights. In Europe, in Scotland, I can look 1 kilometer, there are no fences because citizens already respect each other's boundary. But Gambia, you cannot have a land and live with 500 meters wide. Within 2 weeks, somebody encroach. So at the end of the day, while government is doing reforms, citizens, we also have to respect each other's rights. Nganyola hako bunya, nganyola hacho akanta. Ngalone kenyo ko be nyame ola tangambani ngolbe nimbara inataja indiamta ila kamfada itani masakunda ila kamfada lonne ola delafta ola manke kawye masakunda banku dingo nime alonko enyo tora yalon kamye tora nga platform o dilale yena e diam comme mbadi ngol nataja ne ila ni toro itandile masakunda kalamtale mbe simfal tala me alonko akana nsalon ko na banko molbe siare Gambia banko kenyo amansia bar hada manigo be lafa kanne. So fonna balunya anin kenyo la management ngaw jube nganyo korsi adon kanyo la hako bunya niemo la kenyo ye abuka fence no ate modona fel loje trespass anin fenko so mu kule dal sanganyo mlafto le la bamba ne ka foko asal hako bondi Gambia masakunda sinya woro la alal haketu kenyo kuo me alon ko a sensitive tale ngalone bari mbenna simfa mbe ku kela me alon ko at least asisone pour ndingol anima maringole. Honorable Minister, and Siflo di la nato lefta kuma konsoto me alanko pour mbadi ngol salon betende na nyame ala baraka baki.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. That brings us to the end of this press conference. We thank the media for being patient with us and for the good questions. We thank the Physical Planning Department for coming and the DPS from the Ministry of Lands. And then we thank those affected as well for being calm and calculated and for passing their questions to the media. The questions were good. I think this is the purpose of this press conference, to provide an opportunity for physical planning to come and explain their actions to the media. Now, the press conference was for the media houses. It's not for the victims of the demolition to come and speak their mind. It's for the media houses. I think that should be clear. Madingol mbal tentula mbal jela journalist min nada mbal tentula mbal jela alla jinin karol kumata physical planning fana be tentula mbe jela inada jang pour ka fo banko dingol yela do ko yalla ndi nyame fani slow manta ngamra bi akote refereng ko ila do ko e fanan ibe wolela wodo momo nada jambi ngal ngam bide hawsol e ba wolon press conference ti mbokay di len wax ne nak fi la moy la press conference bi jehé té nak am nañ physical planning di len gërem ñu waxtaan ak askan bi si seen liggéey mi nga xamné loolu lañ nekk di def laaj tay baax nañ té ñu ngi gërem di santa media houses yi nga xam ne ñoo fi teew ak journalist yi ak ñi nga xam ne ñooy victimes si ñu fi ñëw tamit tey ñu ngi dal laajte seen question fu mu nekk nii waxtaan bi jeex na di leen gërëm di leen santa lii mooy Gambia ñun ñëpp benn lañ lu gën a am solo mooy ne ñu joxante cir respectante ku nekk njola sa ak sa yelleef loolu moo gën a am solo moo tax jama ji gën a sax di leen tent di leen gërëm di wax ne ba beneen yoon next press conference ne leen inform media house yi pour ngeen ñëw jërëjëf.
So the media can see the lady with the two mics. Thank you all.
For copies of the report, you can contact the communication officer. Contact the communication officer for